Hey guys, Iron Eagle here again. So this time I'm sitting in the lovely little JF-17 and I thought it's about time to take you with me inside the cockpit and give you guys a little tour on how to really start up the JF-17 Thunder in a fast fashion. Alright, so without further ado, let's hop right into the cockpit and let's get started. Okay, here we are in the JF-17, and yeah, let's start with the startup procedure in the JF-17. I'm not explaining too much this time because you can simply follow these simple steps to start it up. First things first, come over here, battery switch, AC gen, DC gen. This is the first thing we're going to do here. Coming over to the left-hand side, startup pumps on, engine controls on, and uncage the throttle lever. All right, now hit the ground start for about 4 to 5 seconds. Yeah, that should do the trick. All right, now let's come into the lower back on your left-hand side and turn on chars. Here we go. On the ejection seat, I already removed the secure pin for the ejection handle. Okay, and we gotta take a closer look on all these warnings in a second. Right on. Okay. So at that stage, we might want to close the canopy. But before we close the canopy, we need to get oxygen supply. So click on that one. These are the two hoses that needs to get connected for oxygen supply. Rotate the valve, open it to actually get oxygen supply, and now we can close the canopy. One time. Canopy's coming down. Watch it, it's not sealed yet. Now it's sealed. Okay. Alright, next thing is we're going to turn up the volume of our comms and the Tarkan and ILS, maybe a little for bitching Betty and all the warning systems. Let's bring in some light. You can see better what I'm doing here, and I think it's about time to introduce some position lights and stuff. So coming down here to the position lights, gonna bring them up to dim right now, make them steady, turn the formation lights on to 1, anti-collision lights on, and the master switch, I'm gonna bring this to on, normal. All right, now bring the before we bring the comms on, this is the backup radio, we need to supply our avionics with power. So we can do that manually or just click on combat. And since we are running the Jeff right now with the targeting pod, we need to power supply the centerline point. All right, so here we go. Hot brightness, that's a good one. No, hot brightness up and UFCP brightness up. And now we need to go into the INS alignment. Okay, but before we do the INS alignment, let's take a look down here. Cabin pressure and ECS is illuminated, so we can fix that to bring the ECS switch to norm. That fixes these warnings. That's pretty good. And now let's head over to the INS. Shift K, right shift K, and now we enter the latitude, which is 3433 and 35 and 9er. Got rounded, and for the longitude, going for 0, 38, 18, 30, and 5. Enter that too, and for the altitude, we're going to enter 0, 1314, and we apply that. Okay, so we got to keep in mind our true heading is 175. So now we come down here, INS switch to fast, and enter a centered MFD. We click on true heading and enter 175. Alright, INS alignment is coming, and starting from around about 40 seconds, counting down again, and going here in the UFCP return, and we are going to set up the data link system. Double click COM2 and enter 199, enter, and bring this into master mode, since we are going to be the master right now, not a slave. Coming over to the right MFD and selecting C-Link and turning it on, the network. So now we're a master NES and the data link system is set up. Return, and INS is flashing fast, so we can switch this over to NAV. Awesome. Looking good, looking good. Lights are running and they are on. Backup radios can be switched on. This is all good. And we need to load the data cartridge. So the data cartridge is basically something like an old floppy disk you can picture, which is going to give the board computer information about what's loaded and what's the mission type. Alright, so I just clicked it again, so it's inserted now, and I click on all and enter. So what's going to happen now is the DTC transfers all the information into the board computer, so the jet knows exactly everything about navigation points, loadouts, and so on, like approach charts or approach parameters in that case, from our setup stuff that we did in the mission editor. Alright, so we still have a master caching going on, and that is because the configuration of the jet is wrong. Why I'm saying that? Because it's wrong. Alright, so if we are going to turn this up a little,
warning.
You will hear bitching Betty saying all the time, like warning, warning, warning. And that is because
Warning.
our configuration needs to be set to air to ground,
Warning.
because we have external fuel tanks plus air to ground ordnance, and we need to set this to AG2 in that case because it is an air to ground loadout. Alright, let's get over to the SMS page, and as you can see, PL5s, 4 GBU 12s, 2 external tanks, and we have the targeting pod. Alright, in that case we can go back here, we can switch this over to the radar screen, for example, or let's go over to, let's get this over here. Alright, so now we can see our total fuel, we can see engines, we can see brake, our brake hydraulics, we can see the system hydraulics, and on the other end we can see our engine and the feed and everything. Okay, so this is it basically. We're ready for taxi. Last thing that needs to get done is turn on nose wheel steering and release the parking brake. Switch on taxi lights, and here we go, ready for taxi. Okay, here we are on taxi to runway, lining up, and of course, let's get the Jeff up in the air. So here's one little trick. Looking down here, this says this is the engine mode switch, which is a mixture of C and T right now, so you can bring this to combat, which basically says, if I got that right, gives you a little bit more thrust and power to the engine. So yeah, hitting the brakes and laps half, and off she goes. Nose wheel steering is still on. There we go. 70, nose wheel steering off. And rotate. Gear. Flaps up. And there she goes. Alright. So, as always, guys, I thank you for staying with me. If you like this video, please show it with a like. Of course, I will be more than glad if you subscribe my channel if you're new to here. You supporting that channel while you're subscribing and help me to create awesome content like that for you guys over and over again. Alright, see you all next time again. Bye.